Today I'm going to be showing you how to make chocolate sills. These are so fun to add to your holiday baking. My name is Betsy Goodman. I'm a wax sill and lettering artist, and I'm so excited to show you this fun way to use wax sills this holiday season. Let's get started. Okay, the very first thing that you're going to want to do is wash all of your stamps and then put them in the freezer. So I have them all washed and cleaned. They've already been in the freezer for a little while, so I'm going to put them back in so they can get nice and cold. The second thing you're going to want to do is get a metal cookie sheet, cover it with parchment paper, and put this in the freezer as well. So this can be getting cold while we're melting our chocolate. The next thing I need is the stuff to melt my chocolate. So I have some Ghirardelli bars here. I have the dark chocolate and a white chocolate, and so I'm going to be melting both, and I'm going to be using a bain-marie method. So I have a pot here with about 1 inch of water in the bottom, and then I have 2 of these glass dishes. So I have 1 bowl and 1 pie plate because I don't have another bowl, so we'll make it work. And then of course I have a cutting board with a knife because we're going to be chopping these up nice and small. And this is going to be a great chocolate to use if you're just shopping from the grocery store, but you can definitely get higher quality chocolates that have more cocoa butter in them. But I'm just going to be going with these because this is what most people have access to. So let's chop them up. We're going to start by melting our dark first. So what we need to do here is we need 2/3 that we're going to melt right away, and we need 1/3 that we're going to be saving for later. So we're doing tempered chocolate. We're doing the seeding method. So the seeding method is where we take that last third of the chocolate bar and add it to the melted chocolate to cool it down. So we're going to just want to eyeball this into thirds. So this one will be the one that we'll save. And these ones we just want to chop, and we want to chop them quite small. The smaller they are, the quicker they're going to melt, so the quicker the process will be. So chop it nice and small. So once we have this portion chopped, we'll kind of move that to the side, and we do also want to chop this one. All right, so we've got all of our chocolate chopped. So the 2/3 is what's going to be going into our dish to be melted first, and this is what's going to be added afterwards. So the pot is filled with about 1 inch of water, and we're going to have it on low to medium heat. We want it to simmer, but we don't want it to boil. And we'll take our dish and we can put it in like so, and then we'll put in 2/3 of our chocolate to start melting. So with tempered chocolate, we want to melt it. For dark chocolate, we want to melt it to be 113 to 122 degrees. Then we'll take it off and cool it to 80 degrees, and then we're going to reheat it to 90 degrees. So you're going to want to have a thermometer. So this one's a Thermapen. Any thermometer that you have will work great. And we're just going to use a heat-proof spatula to stir, and nothing's happening yet, but it's slowly going to start melting the chocolate. So you can see it's starting to melt. There's still a few pieces in here, so I want to keep melting it till all the pieces are done, but I just want to keep it on a low temperature. When I did this previously, I did have the water, it did start to boil, and then it took so much longer for my chocolate to cool down for the tempering process. So I don't want to get it as hot as I did last time because of boiling the water. So just keep it nice and low and keep stirring, and you can, if there's any that are stuck, you can scrape them off so they get melted too. But we're going to be temping this in just a minute. We just need these last few pieces to melt. So we're trying to get to 113. So we can put this in. We don't want to touch the glass with it, and it's at 93. So we need to get it warmer still. All the pieces are melted. 98. So we're just going to keep heating this until we get up to 113. Then we need to cool it after that. So the benefits of tempering the chocolate before doing wax seals is that it will have more of a sheen. It should snap versus just bend, and it shouldn't melt as much when you touch it and show as many fingerprints. Let's check the temperature. 115. Okay, we're good now. We need to take this off the heat. I'm going to put it on this cloth because it's wet. Okay, so we reached 115. So you're really trying to get it to be anywhere 113 to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. And then this is the seating part where we're going to be adding a little bit of our unmelted chocolate in and stirring it up and letting it melt. And we're slowly, by doing this, we want to slowly cool this down to be 80 to 82 degrees. And then we'll heat it one more time to 90. And at that point, then the chocolate should be tempered. And so I'm hoping it will make a really beautiful effect on the wax sills. Last year I did a tutorial and I just used chocolate chips because I didn't really have any other chocolate, and I melted them in the bain-marie, but not to a certain temperature. And what happened was they were fine when they were in the freezer, but if you touch them at all, they would just melt in your hand and leave fingerprints everywhere. They were super bendy. And so they just didn't turn out as well. And they were also really dull. And so I wanted to try this tempered method with the wax or the chocolate sills to see if that will help give it more of a sheen and just a better polished, finished look. So all of those extra pieces of chocolate have now melted in. It's completely melted, and we need to check what our temperature is. So you just want to make sure not to touch the bowl. But we're getting 99, 102. So it's still too hot. So from here, you can just keep stirring, leave it at room temperature until it gets to temperature. Or what I also did the last time was that I stirred it while it was in the fridge for a little while, and that helped bring the temperature down a little bit quicker. So I think this time I'm going to set it to the side so that we can work on our white chocolate and it can work on cooling at room temperature. And then that way we can have both our chocolates tempered, hopefully at the same time, so we can make some white and dark chocolate sills. Okay, so we've cooled this down. When we temp it, we're getting 80 degrees. So now is the part where we reheat. So we'll put it back over the bain-marie, and we're going to bring it up to 90 degrees. And once we hit that, the chocolate should be tempered, and then we can start making our wax sills. So it's been a minute or two. We'll check our temperature. We're at 185. So we need to bring it up just a little bit more, but this is the type of thing it can happen within seconds. It'll be hot enough, and so you don't want to go too much over. All right, we're at 90 now. So we want to take it off of the heat. And that is ready for wax sills. You can follow the exact same process for white chocolate. It's just that the temperatures are different than dark chocolate. So I've put all the temperatures for dark milk and white chocolate in the description below. All right, at this point we have our chocolates ready. We're going to pull out our cookie sheet from the freezer so it is nice and cold. And it has our parchment paper down. We've got our stamps that are out of the freezer too. And we're going to have 2 spoons to use to pour our chocolate. So we're just going to get a scoop, use the spatula to kind of get some off so it's not dripping. And then we'll just pour, the first one we'll just do all dark chocolate, pour it into a circle, and we'll take our stamp and we're going to press down and then let go. So let's try one if we do one that's just chocolate or white chocolate. We'll do the same thing. Just going to pour some out, and then we will press. I feel like the white chocolate spreads a little bit more than the dark. Another thing that you can do that's been fun is pour the dark first. We'll pour it in an oval shape. And then we can pour some of the white, and we're going to move it across, but you want to kind of get it already coming down like so. So it's already dripping. Get it dripping, and then once it's in more of thin strands, then that's where you'll take it across. But I need a little bit more on my spoon to get it to work. Down, and then we'll just come across in a few lines, and then we can press with our oval seal. So that turned out really pretty. I like it better with the dark chocolate as the base with a little bit of white chocolate versus the other way with white chocolate as the base. I don't like it as much. Let's try that one more time. So I'm doing a rectangle shape and the white chocolate, and I kind of want to do the same thing where I want to get it dripping off the spoon before I bring it over and go across. And then I'll press. Let's do a few more. Another dark chocolate. This can be, well, that's a lot of chocolate. That's okay. It's a bigger seal, so we'll see. So I don't want to touch these for a few minutes. I want to allow them to be able to set before I touch them. And even after that, I'm going to put them in the freezer for a little while. But I do want to show you some of the ones that I have previously made earlier. So these have been sitting in the freezer. You can see they do have a nice snap to it because of the tempered chocolate. There's not as much of the shine though, and I don't know if that's because I put them in the freezer or not. But this is kind of that cool effect. So I'll show you with these ones that we made together, but these are some of the other ones. So they're definitely not melting as much as the ones I did last year. It was like anytime I would touch them, it was just like a huge smudge in the chocolate. They were so melty. And so these ones are definitely holding their shape a little better. So this is the first one we poured, so it should just come off. How cute. Our snowflake one, here's the all white. I love that one. Let's see. Oh, I love that. Let's look at these ones. This one that was a little bit too much chocolate, but it's still pretty. And this one, oh, how fun. I love that one with the snowflake. So I'm going to put these back into the freezer for a little while, just till they're fully set. And then I'll be ready to use to add them to desserts or whatever holiday baking you want to add them to. But you just want to make sure that they're fully set. And then I did have leftover chocolate of both of mine from the sills that I made. So I just spread them out on parchment paper nice and thin. And so now you can see they'll just come off the parchment paper, and I can put them in an airtight container and I can use them again. So you can temper chocolate as many times as you need. This is not something you're like, oh, I didn't use that, I have to throw it away. Like, you can save this and remelt it for the future. This is how they turned out. They're super gorgeous. They have a nice sheen on them. They just look absolutely amazing. So perfect for your holiday desserts. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope this has inspired you to think about how you could incorporate wax sills into your holiday crafting and baking. If you want a chocolate sill tutorial that's a little bit less complex without the temperatures and tempered chocolate, then I have one from last year that's super easy, just using chocolate chips, and you can definitely make some really fun chocolate sills that way as well. Thank you for watching, and make sure to follow my channel and on Instagram for more fun ways you can use wax sills this holiday season.